2 years ago, I had to sell both my cars in order to move to Canada as my visa in America ran out. Finally, I bought a Mercedes 190e with the goal of building an Evo II replica for only $20,000. Now, I don't have any experience working on cars, so I'm going to be having experts teach me how to do everything on this car. The only problem is, when I took the car in to get inspected,
I thought we were going to be spending like 7 grand at the max, but we got quoted between 10 to 12 grand.
which is way more than the car is worth.
We've got rear differential leaks, we've got engine leaks everywhere, we got belts need to be done, they're cracked, the brake lines are all corroded, we got 4 millimeters left on the rear rotors. Yeah, it's not looking great.
But since I'd already ordered the Evo 2 body kit, I needed to go and find out if I'm going to buy another Evo or build this one. So I decided to go and check out another one to see if it's worth buying.
So yesterday I was filming a video with this guy who has an E34 BMW, and he tipped me off about this white 190e in Calgary. It is 150,000 kilometers on it and supposedly has no rust. So we're heading to this place, Asteroid Auto Parts, right now, and hopefully this one's going to be a good one. Maybe it's worth buying instead of mine.
As I entered the yard, I still wasn't sure if I wanted to get rid of my car because it has blue interior.
They don't really want us filming here. And if you're wondering why I have so many layers, it's negative 15 Celsius, which is freezing cold. Boot's just open. I'll shut that for them. Oh, it's the S500. Here's the 190. It's got some kind of rot. Is it unlocked?
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice interior. Looks like it comes with an exhaust. Power windows in the back. We're gonna try and jump it, I think. This looks good. Got a crack right there. But other than that, it's pretty solid. Red and black, which is really, really rare color scheme. I've never seen another one like this. 2.3 liter. Doesn't have the wing on it.
We were trying to take it on a test drive, but
I think the tire's gonna be frozen in there.
Yeah.
one of the tires was frozen to the ground. So while we waited for it to unfreeze, I decided it might be a good idea to check out the engine.
See if it starts. Is this a diesel?
No, it's for when you're warming up your engine. You want less air coming in the rad in the winter. So it'll eventually get to temp. It's just, it gets to temp quicker because the more air you have come to the rad, it'll cool it down. Engine sounds good. Immediately you can see a little bit of oil on the bottom. This seems fine. Like there's a little bit of oil sweating from the oil cap. That's an easy replacement.
This looks perfect. I've never seen one that's not rusted through right here. This is all good. Even this one's not rusted out. That's cracked.
Yeah, it's an old car.
Yeah.
185 kilometers.
185,000.
Yeah, so a little bit less than yours.
How much does he want for this?
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were actually able to pump the tire up and take it on a test drive. The biggest things concerning me with the car were the underneath rust, which is really hard to tell in these conditions, and also the fact this is a 1988 model, so it has a few differences with the electronics and the engine.
People cannot relate to the cold that we are going through right now. Oh no, it's frosting up.
We're not gonna be defrosting that without heat. That window doesn't work.
That one's broken.
It's got heated seats.
Mine doesn't have that.
The car was not blowing any warm or cold air, so we think the blower motor completely went out. After driving for 5 minutes down the gravel road, it really didn't feel any different to mine.
It's probably enough of a test drive, right?
I think so.
We don't really need to find anything else out.
It would be nice to get on the highway, but I think we got the idea.
The guy wants $3,000 for it, and I'm just not sure if it's worth buying and opening up a whole new Pandora's box.
Ethan, what do you think?
I think it's worth keeping your other one. Put that money into the other build. And I think this is a nice car, but it's got some demons. There's no heat working. It's gonna need a lot of work too.
Yeah.
And I don't think your car needs as much more work that it's worth buying.
Biggest thing that most people, if you're watching this, you're probably worried about like the rust. But the thing is, I'm gonna have to tub the fenders in my car anyways, just to lower the front end, I've been told. So it doesn't really matter that these ones aren't rusted because I'll have to cut them out and redo it anyways. I like the dark blue interior more. My interior is in better condition actually.
The other thing too is those frame rails looked like they were rusting.
On that car?
And I know for a fact that your frame rails must be okay because they actually lifted it at the shop, so.
Yeah, that was concerning because where the jack points are in that car, it looks a bit gross. So I'm thinking, instead of spending $3,000 to buy this one, I'll let someone else in Calgary get it and put that $3,000 into getting parts. Also, if I buy that car, it's not as much like of a journey.
It's not as much fun.
It's not as much fun. I won't get to learn as much.
No, you'll learn a bunch on the other car. It's
Yeah.
got a lot of work to do.
And with that, I decided not to buy it. So if you want to buy it, reach out to Asteroid Auto in Calgary, Alberta, $3,000. While all of this was happening, something very special that I've been waiting for 4 months arrived. But before we unbox the kit and I reveal who and where I bought it from, I want to break down how to buy a kit and where to buy it from. Back in October, when the idea to build this car came to my mind, the first thing I researched was how much do body kits even cost for an Evo 2, because you can't buy a real one anymore. Now, if you look on eBay, you can find an Evo 2 body kit for as little as $1,200. However, it's made out of Duraflex, which is like plastic. And after watching many YouTubers struggle to install their kits and have absolute nightmares, I decided that wouldn't be the best idea. So I talked to my friend Jason, who's an expert in fiberglass, and he recommended that I order the best kit I can find because it'll save me money in the long run when it comes to labor and installing it on the car. This is when I came across Hedgehog Tuning, which is a company based in Thailand that builds these kits from fiberglass. So I reached out to their US supplier, whose name is Sid. He also works with RWB, and I asked him if I could buy a kit. He said that I could buy a kit, but the problem is it wouldn't be available until next year. Keep in mind, this was October, and I wanted to get the car done by this summer. I thanked him, and that was the end of that conversation. Until a few days later, I get a phone call from Sid again, telling me that he actually has his own 190 Evo 2 kit coming in November, and he'd be willing to sell it to me because he loved what I wanted to do with it. And 4 months later, the body kit has arrived finally from Thailand. I spent $4,100 US on the kit. I spent another basically $4,000 on shipping. Way more than I wanted to spend. Pretty much emptied my bank account, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So just to reiterate, that's $4,100 US just for the kit, another $1,000 on top for shipping to Washington, and then another $1,200 shipping from Washington to Calgary, which brings the total to $6,400 US or $8,700 Canadian. Now it's finally time to unbox it. As I opened the crate, I was super nervous that parts might be broken.
But man, it's expensive. Spent pretty much everything on this.
But after many layers of bubble wrap, we finally got the first piece.
I'm pretty sure this is like the back glass piece, which I was hoping would come with the car or with the kit, because this is one of the pieces I wasn't sure if it was going to be included.
We then unboxed the rest of the crate and finally had it all laid out on the floor.
It is finally here, my 190 Evo 2 body kit. We've got the front bumper, we've got both fenders, which is super nice because they're not bolted on, it's the entire fender. Side skirts, you've got your padding, I don't know what that's called. This piece, I didn't even know was gonna be in the kit. It's actually the rear glass, kind of like wing, goes on the back of the window. We've got the rear fenders, rear bumper, my favorite part, the massive wing, and it's actually adjustable. If you come in here, look, you can actually adjust it with these bolts, screws, and I cannot wait to eat dinner off of this. And then on the other side, we've got the same fenders, side skirts. This is probably gonna be the hardest part, is the side skirt right here. It's probably gonna take the most molding from the people I've talked to. And we've got the rear fender bits. The rear fender bits are separate, but the nice thing about this kit is the front ones here are all one piece. So that's really helpful because I don't have to mold it on. So I need to find an Evo 2 badge to go right there. But yeah, I'm super glad that that's all one piece. And then we have the front bumper right here, which really nice about Hedgehog Tuning, which is the company I got this from. They included mounting hardware inside this bumper. And then this I also didn't expect. This is my crash bar. So I did not even know that was part of the kit. Probably 60 hours of bodywork, fiberglass work with Infamous Aero to get this on the car,
which will push me really close to my $20,000 budget. And in the next video, we're going to be test fitting the kit to see if it's really worth buying and how good their quality is. Also, if you want to support the build, this is the final opportunity you have to order the merch. Remember, all profits go to building this car.